Welcome back. You're still watching Business Morning on Channels Television, and today on the program we're looking at how businesses can manage risk. And I have here with me in the studio the Director General Association of Enterprise Risk Management Professionals, Olayinka Odutola. Mr. Odutola, thank you so much for staying with us.
All right, thanks
Well,
so
just
much
before we went on that quick break, you
Yeah.
talked about the fact that most businesses fail because, or one of the reasons why they fail is because they do not consult.
Yeah.
And I said that most consultants,
Yeah.
not all consultants, do not thoroughly even understand what they should be consulting about. And so there's also this tendency that when a business comes, a prospective business owner comes with his idea, he might get led astray instead of being led on the right path. And so how do you begin to, that's another risk, you know. Yes, that's another risk. You didn't mention it, but that's another risk.
Okay, that is another risk. I talked about people risk anyway.
Yes, you did, but you didn't mention consulting.
You understand? Well, there is nothing that is impossible. You understand? In any environment, there's nothing impossible. But sincerely, it's just like when you say you would not travel again. You understand? Because of a possibility of accidents. You will not move in life at all. That's why I said, no matter what we are doing, risk is normal. You understand? It's a matter, okay, look at it. You talk about incompetent consultants. Of course, it's possible. I mean, for the past few years now, we have seen that a lot of people have come out, to say, I'm a consultant, maybe after being retrenched from their various organizations, you understand? Especially, since after the banking reform, a lot of bankers have left their job and all those things. So those who have never practiced any form of consultancy before, they will come up and say, I am a consultant. It's just normal. But you as a business owner, that's why I really want to appreciate organizations. You understand? You don't mention names, but there are organizations in this country that are actually doing the right thing by educating and re-educating the small and medium enterprises. There are organizations, there are NGOs, and some corporate organizations, including banks, you understand, that have taken that as a point of their duty, that they want to open these people's eyes of understanding. You understand? And even churches, you understand? Even religious organizations, right? Even religious organizations nowadays, they organize seminars, you understand? And when they want to do that, of course, they will go for competent consultants, right? And apart from that, competent consultants are everywhere. Like I told you, if you are looking for the fact, if you are looking too much at the possibility of running into a wrong hand, you won't, move forward. You understand? It's also one of the risks that actually a person that a budding business owner must look at. But one way or the other, if you allow yourself, because some of the people look at it, if a competent consultant says, I'm charging, let's say, 20,000 naira, some people will never patronize. They would rather go for someone that will say, okay, that thing, I will do it for 5,000 naira.
Yes,
and it's one of the issues.
Like
you understand? So at the end of the day, right, they will not be able to gain anything. People will just do copy and paste and give them and say, okay, we have done the job. So I can tell you that the fear is real. You understand? But one way or the other, we should not look at that one as a discouraging factor. Like I told you, is one of the risks you have to manage. And when you join organizations like all these, Lasima, and all, you understand, they are very, very helpful. Very, very helpful. If you go through them, definitely you can't go into wrong hands.
So now, in terms of an eye-opener, how often should a business do a risk assessment of itself? Because, some say that if a company conducts a formal risk assessment once in a year, it's enough. Do you still share the same view? Or should it be done biannually or every other month? Or how often should a company sit down and assess its risks?
Really, it depends on a lot of factors. You understand? If you are working in a very volatile environment, you understand? Volatility doesn't mean that I'm not talking about the possibility of bombing and insurgency alone. You understand? In an unstable business environment, in a place where, you understand, even the availability of raw materials, you understand, you can't predict, look at if your business is, for the past few months now, let me say just about a month now, you are seeing what is happening to our petrol and the fuel
exchange
and all,
rate,
that
course,
kind of thing,
inflation
right?
And all the
you
rest.
look at, so because of that, it depends on how your business is sensitive to all these factors. You understand? If you operate a business that is not so much sensitive to all these factors, then you can remain there. 1 year, you can, okay, let us do a kind of risk assessment. But there are some organizations, there are some industries that you need to do it quarterly. Some people have to do their own monthly. Look at banking industry, for instance. You cannot tell a bank that it's only until 1 year before you can reassess your risk and whatever. No, definitely it's a daily issue.
But then those are the bigger players.
Oh, yes.
Let's talk about the smaller
players. That's why I said it depends on the sensitivity, you understand, of even the smaller players.
But Mr. Odutola,
Right.
everybody is sensitive to what is currently happening at the money market. We know that the Naira has been under pressure in the last couple of days. And we've seen what's happening. It's now selling at 164 Naira, 90 kobo to the dollar. And so those are kind of risks that small businesses face, especially, since they do business not just with the domestic players, but foreign players as well.
Yes.
So looking at that kind of scenario, should it be monthly or even weekly that you do your risk assessment?
That's right. You are talking about the sensitivity now. You understand? By the time you do a kind of sensitivity analysis, that's exactly just in that rudimentary form, right? You want to know how sensitive. If you are doing something that is import dependent, you understand what I'm saying? That no matter what to happen, you must go through foreign exchange. You understand what I'm saying? Then you know that it's an obvious thing that, look, even twice in a month, you understand? Weekly, you must be able to look at your risk factors. You understand? But if you are doing some kind of business that are relatively stable and they're not dependent on all these factors, then I can tell you, you can just, be there. Let's say some people quarterly, some people twice in a year, some people once in a year. But I can tell you what I have said earlier on is that risk is a normal thing in our life.
Okay.
And, it's just normal for us to be conscious of it all the time, no matter what to put in paper. About the kind of time, you understand. All the time, you must be cautious.
So does technology have a role in all of this? Does technology have a role to help, to manage risk in business?
Definitely a lot. A lot. In fact, there is even one of our risk factors that we call technology risk. You understand what I'm saying? Because nowadays, everybody wants to go on e-platform. Even retailers now, a lot, you can buy and sell, you understand, without leaving your place online and all those things. So that has also given the possibility of technology risk, you understand, even on its own, right? I mean, look at if I mention this again, you say I mentioned the big player, right? A building bond, and quickly the organization said, right, we have a very good backup. You understand? Most of the small and medium enterprise now, right, they don't look at that. Many people, if all their documents got burned today, they will never be able to produce it for life. Even those who are owing them, you understand, they will not be able to do anything about it, and it's very, very unfortunate. And a lot of organizations have been able, to at least educate a lot of people in the SME category regarding that. But people are not changing. It's a culture thing, you understand. An average SME, okay, let me see, MSME, right? Because SMEs, many of them are actually developing fast, but the micro especially, tell a micro person about micro insurance and all those things and whatever, he will tell you that, God will take control. Definitely, God element is there and everything, you understand? But, we should not look at that and say what God said we should do, even in the physical.
Exactly, behaving like ostriches that bury their head in the sand.
You understand, right?
Coming.
We have, kind of, we so much love to attribute, if there's a failure, we attribute it to God. You understand? Every failure in business, failure in life, everything is attributed to God. You now wonder, is this the same God that is our God, that's the God of America, that's God of UK, that kind of thing?
Very good question.
God will really help us. So technology is there also, and honestly, if we can just at least appreciate this little thing like backing up your this thing and whatever, it's sort of some of the ways you can control and manage your risk relating to that.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Odutola, for speaking to us on the program this morning. From everything you've just said, it's not really very easy, but concerted effort put into, looking at the situation that plays out before us can ensure that we manage our risk properly.
Yes. Thank you, Harriet. And one of the things you are doing as of today is also a way of helping people. Because one thing that makes people to perish is lack of knowledge. And knowledge can only come from what? Information. God bless you.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Odutola, for joining us on the program this morning. I've been speaking with the Director General, Association of Enterprise Risk Management Professionals, Mr. Olayinka Odutola, and we've been looking at managing risk in our business. And if you've listened to the conversation, it's very clear that there's risk everywhere, but it's how you manage it that really matters at the end of the day. Well, our correspondent, Temple Ashaju, is actually joining us live from the Nigerian Stock Exchange to give us an update on what's happening at the moment. Hello, Temple, and thank you so much for staying there.
Hello, Harriet.
Now, what's the mood like at the market? In the last couple of trading sessions for like 3 days now, we've noticed that the market has remained upbeat. And I spoke to Rotimi earlier, and he says it's not unconnected to the decisions reached by the Monetary Policy Committee and, of course, the full-year results of some companies that have been trickling in. So what can you tell us? How is the mood like at the market at the moment?
It's hard to say what the mood really looks like right now, but from all the gains that we've recorded yesterday, what we're seeing right now is contrary to that. We're seeing a decline. Although the all-share index, which is the market indicator, is still within the range of 38,000 psychological line, but we've seen some decline from that record of yesterday. However, some good stocks that have actually been able to declare their corporate actions of late are being seen now on the gainers list, talking about the likes of the bank sectors, UBA, GTB, Fidelity Bank, and all of that. We see them on the gainers list at the moment. And we do want to hope that some of those that gained yesterday as well will be able to retain their prizes, even though we know that at the moment, UPDC, which actually topped the gainers chart yesterday, is found right now on the losers chart, as well as Sterling Bank.
So from the numbers that you're looking at right now, it seems that we might not, the market might not sustain the positive momentum it started on Tuesday. But apart from the fact that, for instance, some of the big cap stocks like Nestle added about 24 Naira 89 kobo to its share price. Dangote also added about 5 Naira. Now, these are two stocks that have actually moved the market, whenever they actually gain. So are we saying that if, for instance, any of these stocks give up the gains, because you're saying that right now it looks like it's most probable that if they give up their gains, the market will finish in negative territory today. But even if it does finish in negative territory today, how will it affect the markets year to date?
It will possibly affect the market in a negative manner. If it doesn't really affect the market, if they end up in the red zone today, the market can still come up in the green zone, maybe slightly, because of the actions, the corporate earnings that have been declared by a couple of companies. Remember that a company like Sterling Bank has been able to record about 14.68% gains in the last 7 sessions, and that is because of the positive result that they declared. So some of the medium cap stocks at the moment will be the ones that will be able to sustain the market in the green zone. Yesterday, for example, when the market opened, it was bearish. It was towards the end, like about 20 minutes to the end of the market, that we suddenly saw the bullish trend. And it will be difficult to say right now that the market has just opened barely 1 hour into the trading session to say if the market will end green or red. But I'm trying to be optimistic as much as possible.
Well, Temple, I'm going to try to share your optimism and hope that at the end of the trading day, the market will finish in positive territory, because investors do have a say of what direction the market will take. But thank you very much, Temple, for joining us this morning on the program. Enjoy the rest of the trading session.
Thanks.
And that is Business Morning, the last edition for the week on Channels Television. We'll be back again Monday with more and a bigger and better package. I'm Harriet Agbeni. Bye-bye.